All right, so I figured let me knock out 2 videos while I'm in this car on my way to work. Okay, I just talked about Atomic Habits, and then something else crossed my mind. I'm like, I should have threw this in the video too, but I'm gonna just make a part 2 because I still got a couple minutes more before I get to work. So the second thing I actually wanted to touch on was why you are where you are. So this kind of links into not, getting your system right, but also I want to say, if your system hasn't been working, I think it's also important to look at what can I do different. We always hear the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over and over and expecting to get different results. And so I've had to examine my own schedule and say, okay, I know that I'm a hard worker. I know that I set goals, and I usually meet most of my goals, but there's certain goals that I I don't be hitting. Like I keep not hitting them. So what is it that I'm doing wrong? And I'm like, okay, let me write down what I've been doing to reach these goals, and let me write down how I'm gonna do it differently this time. I think that's important too. Like I said, I wanted to touch on this in the last video, but it would have made sense. But I just thought about it, and I'm just like, nah, I gotta come back and I gotta record something separate for this. Because I know there's people out there that's saying, okay, I'm doing all these steps. I'm writing down what I'm supposed to do. I'm focusing on the process, and I'm still not obtaining the results that I want. And this is something that, like I said, I've been struggling. Now, I've hit a lot of my goals. Most of the goals that I set, I pretty much reached them. But there's just probably 3 goals in particular where it's like, it's just not working out for me. And so I'm like, okay, let me go write down on a piece of paper what it is that I've been doing, and moving forward, what am I gonna do differently? And you could be writing down what you're gonna do differently, and that may not work either, but every single time that you fail, you're one step closer to success. You're one step closer because you've already tried it these other ways, and that's not working. I also want you to go search out people, which I have mentioned in, my video, 2 videos back, that search out mentors. And it doesn't have to be physical mentors. That's great if you can, talk to somebody that you physically can get with, you know what I mean? But a lot of times we don't have that time, or we don't have the money to do that. Mentors are not cheap. Unless you know somebody personally that's successful and where you want to be, then that's great for you. But if you don't have those resources, YouTube is a free source. It's so much free information out here. We don't have excuse. This isn't back in the 90s, you know what I mean, where the internet was just starting to kind of bubble and it wasn't all this free information. If I knew now what I knew, if I knew in the 90s what I knew now, oh my God, I would be so much further in life. I probably would be successful by now because I would have had that time and I would have had that information early on. My money would have been really up there. I would have been really knocking out my goals, because back then I didn't have as many responsibilities either as I do now. So to have that information and to have that time and freedom to execute that information, chef's kiss. I'd probably be retired by now. I wish I would have gotten to stock sooner and really took saving and investing seriously and getting a home, being a first-time home buyer early. I wish I did those things. I could have been paid everything off by now, because get you a good 15-year loan with a good interest rate as a first-time home buyer, some good credit, and you on your way. And I could be not worried about my own home and taking that additional money to be investing in some real estate properties to make me some money for me, so I don't have to worry about going back to work. Like, I just would have did things so much differently. The way I approach relationships, the way that I viewed and talked to myself, having boundaries, my whole life, I just would have moved so much more differently. So when you watch these videos or videos similar to this or other people's videos, or you're watching your mentors, man, learn from other people's mistakes. And if you've already made mistakes, don't beat yourself up. You forgive yourself. You did the best you could with the information you had where you were. But in this digital age, we really don't have no excuse. It's just way too much information out here for us to be making mistakes we was making back in the 90s, you know. So man, look at your process, look at what you're doing, and see what you can do differently, and start even in small things. These don't have to be big changes, you know. I'm not saying you got to be striving to be, you know, a CEO of a company. These could be minute things. Just say you live in a mundane life and you're like, I'm just tired of living life the same every single day, but yeah, you keep doing the same routines. You know, make small changes and say, you know what, I'm going to do something differently. I'm going to start taking a different pathway to work. I'm going to start visiting new food places so I can get around different types of people and different environments. I'm going to expose myself to new information. I'm going to read books that maybe I wouldn't have thought about reading before so that I can open up my mind. You know, there's so many different things, and these small little habits, if you're doing these things every single day, your life is going to change. Your life is going to take on a new direction. Because believe me, where we are today is our fault where we are today. And I know you may be thinking, nah, like, this ain't the life that I dreamed for myself. This is not what I seen for myself. But all your habits and every single thing that you've done over the years is the reason you are where you are today. You are, even if you hate your job, you're there because something in your mind told you, okay, let me go ahead and apply for this job. Whether it was for the money, whether it's because you thought the job was going to be one way and it ended up being a different way, you're still there. You still choose to be there. Nobody's making you be at your job. Now you might say, well, I have bills, I have things I need to take care of, I got to get what I can get. But at the end of the day, you applied to that because you felt like maybe that's all you could get. If we're honest with ourselves, we have limiting beliefs even when we apply for jobs. I'm gonna speak for myself. Sometimes I'll read that job description and I'll be like, man, I might not be smart enough. I might not be able to fulfill what they're asking me. You know, you'll get scared. And sometimes you'll push through that fear and you'll apply and you'll get there and you'll be like, you know what, this job isn't even what the job description made it out to be. It's really not that difficult. All you got to do is this, and this. So a lot of times we undermine our own talents, we undermine ourselves, and we could be having way better jobs and way better opportunities and way better pay. So yes, you're at the job you're at because either one, you felt pressure because of your circumstances, or you have a fear that you can't get better, or that you're not smart enough, that you're not worthy or valuable enough to be in certain spaces. You know, or you think, oh, I need to go back to school, I need to do this, oh, I need to go back and do that. You don't believe in yourself. Okay, where you live, you chose where you live. For the most part, we choose where we live. But even if you didn't choose where you live and you're not where you want to be, what steps have you taken to get out of that situation? Again, it's still a choice. You can say, you know what, I don't like my environment. I want to pick up and move to another state, or I want to experience a new place, or God is leading me over here, God is leading me over there. Is fear stopping you? Do you have a plan, or are you just sitting around and complaining about it? Do you have a plan of, okay, how much money do I need to save? Where does my credit need to be? Who can I have to kind of help me or strategize? Or do you have steps in place? Are you just sitting around moping every day and complaining about why your situation isn't getting better? Why you hate your job so much, but you've been there for years? You know, so everything is a choice. And if you don't like the choices that you've made, we have the power to change them. It's just going to take a plan. It's going to take strategy, and it's going to take some discomfort. I can speak for myself. I'm definitely in an uncomfortable season, and I'm working toward getting out. You know, I've wrote my plan down, and I'm like, everything that I'm doing, I have to stop. We have to get out of that victim mindset, or we're going to be stuck, and say, no, I'm where I'm at because this is a choice. Take control of your situation. Stop being a victim. Stop blaming people for where you are. Stop saying, well, I'm here because of this and I'm here because of that. No, you're giving your power away. You're making yourself a victim, and it's actually going to make you feel worse and make your situation seem worse. Let's be present. Let's take accountability and say, I don't like where I'm at. Circumstances may have led to where I'm at, but I can get myself out of this situation. Okay, I don't have to sit around and be a victim. I have control. And once you realize that you have control, okay, your life is going to start changing. So yeah, like I said, I wanted to add this a part of my last video, but I'm glad I came on and I made a second part, because the first one would have been kind of long. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video.